Alright, so who you got winning this game? So
Off the team comps, I'm gonna have to go with Insomnia, but I don't know them, so it's gonna be rough.
I think I don't feel like No Mercy is going to do well. Their early game is pretty solid, and their mid game is too. I think they'll be able to hold off long enough and start the game long enough. So if Insomnia doesn't really get any early advantages, they can definitely take the lead from there.
I got a little story to tell you. Have you ever met a girl that you tried to date, but a year to make love she wanted you to wait? Let me tell you a story of my situation. I was talking to this girl from the US nation. The way that I met her was on tour at a concert. She had long hair and a short miniskirt. I just got on stage dripping, pouring with sweat. I was walking through the crowd, and guess who I met? I whispered in the air, come to the picture booth so I can ask you some questions to see if you're 100 proof. I asked her name, she said blah blah blah. She had 9-10 pants and a very big bra. I took a couple of flicks and she was enthused. I said, how do you like the show? She said I was very amused.
So Caitlyn Morgana is gonna be like very impressive towards the Jana and Ezreal. So if Ezreal can still come out like kind of even, and that's a win for them, I would say. Ari versus Malzahar is just a skill matchup.
Yeah.
And Jade versus Sion is just you gotta play to like wait for team fights. So.
Their bot lane was 0-12 yesterday. Who did they play yesterday? They played. You said they played the other Norse, right? Or
no, they played Chaos Gaming.
Ooh, and I have no idea about what their team is like. But 0-12, that is not a good feat.
Yeah, it's a big yikes.
But just talking to like Phantom GG, he told me like, a little bit about their team, that, they want to see how good they are. That's why they, wanted to play for the BTL, just to see how far they can go. And this is gonna be my first impression of this new team, to see how well they can do. Hopefully, they manage to fix some issues they may have had last game, because you definitely don't want to be coming in with like too much of a lazy mindset. Like, this is BTL. We do have some really good talent here, some really solid teams that can give anybody, I feel like, a run for their money if need be. And you got to be careful for that. You got to come in like taking this very seriously and sort of know what to expect. No Mercy's been around for a long time. They did get split up, but we see a lot of the same players still playing together, so they do already have that synergy compared to Insomnia. I'm not sure how much synergy they have together, so it should be an interesting one.
The reason why Insomnia lost yesterday is because they gave an Aurelion Soul, like he was an Aurelion Soul main, and he gave it to him, and he literally just stood there and pressed W, dealing damage, and then he will ult all of them into a Lowry, and they just went poof. So basically, sums up how they lost.
Yeah, all you gotta just hopefully they learn from their mistakes. They look at their drafts a little bit more. Definitely, like, if you see somebody as a one trick, like BTL is definitely not the place to be a one trick in, because most people more than likely will ban the shit out of your one trick. You definitely not playing that champion. So that's something they definitely should have. Maybe, I don't know if they looked into it or not, or maybe they felt like he wouldn't have been a problem. But if you see a motherfucker got like 300 games on one champion, like a 60-70% win rate, I don't care how well you think you can beat that matchup, ban that motherfucker. Trust me, you will be better off.
Especially when their freaking club tag is stars. Yeah, saying something.
Swap players only on last minute, so you're scrambling to fix your bans. Then you can ask for time. Well, you should have been able to ask for time or been given time if you needed to, look at, their roster or anything like that. Formulate a game plan. Feel free, especially like if it's something that happened. At least when I'm around, because like I can't be around on Saturdays a lot of the time because I work. But typically when I am here and I see something like that happen, you know, I'm not going to be upset if somebody, like, you know, give us like 5 minutes to, you know, make a new game plan or whatever the case may be. Definitely don't be afraid to, you know, ask. There's some pretty basic level 1 going on here. Not too much going on. Just make sure no funny business is going down. They are going to go ahead and go top lane, so they do have that info. Not going to drop. Definitely should be maybe dropping. Okay, they do have a ward on the red. So they do know if they're going to start or not. Doesn't look like they actually might stick around for this.
I would have collapsed on that. They know they're there, but I don't know. I would have been easy collapse.
Okay, so they are paying for the red buff. It doesn't look like they're either going to try and get information or whatever the case may be. Free gold for Bonson. They do mark the red buff, so they do have the information on where Kane might be starting unless he goes for birds. Okay, Kane is going to go ahead and start birds, so he's not going to miss out on too much. Pretty simple starts for both teams. Okay, so they do know where Kane is. They have that buff warded. That information can prove really valuable in the next couple of minutes, depending on what each jungler wants to do. Azrael taking a good bit of poke here, but does go ahead and land something in exchange. This Morgana Caitlyn lane can be a little bit toxic, so they do need to be a little bit careful. Azrael needs, you know, a couple items under his belt before he can start, you know, going blow to blow with her.
This man got the mana pot, so he's just gonna be spamming Qs to get all his mana back again.
Oh yeah, and he got that little gold tech, so you know he'll definitely get there. He just has to get there. As long as they don't do anything too crazy, they should be fine. They're just gonna need to poke out a little bit, but that's what you got Jailer for, you know, so to keep you in lane for a little while. I don't know. Personally, I would have liked to see Ezreal paired with, or like if they were going to go Janna, maybe paired with much more of a hyper carry. But I have no idea how this guy's Ezreal is. He's going to take a bit of damage here. Ooh, and already at half health. Got a game coming out from J-Wipe. They do a good bit of damage. That maybe one. Ignite might not have killed him. It had to be Ignite.
Bowkeeper probably killed this man. Maybe.
Yeah, 100%. Flash. Ignite auto attack definitely would have killed Malzahar, but they got a little bit of damage off of him. Kane actually didn't take his blue buff. Go ahead, Sage, what you scared of?
I don't know why she was not. I think she would have won that too.
Yeah, she had the buffs up on him. Alright, so we do have a little bit of a issue here in the bot lane. Down about a wave in CS.
I'm sure they knew what they was getting into when they saw a Morgana Caitlyn lane.
Yeah, like they knew it was gonna be. You just gotta like accept that lane as it is at that point. But eventually, as long as they aren't dying, it's not going to be too bad. Ezreal scales eventually, so they got time. There's nothing to be worried about too much. Top lane actually pretty even for the most part. Ooh. He took... I don't know how I feel about the Ahri against Sion. It's Sion, he's always going to be tanky. I don't know, in my head, I would go for something a little bit more high end and damage. You know, Jace is good for poke, but with something like that, you definitely do want to be careful. I don't. This is my personal opinion. I don't think Ari is good against tank matches, especially up top. I definitely want something where I can, you know, snowball and do whatever the hell I want. And at the end of the day, it's Sion. He has shields. You know, he's gonna be tanky. You want to be able to deal as much damage over time as you can. Oh, he's gonna go ahead and get ganked. Gonna go ahead and flash out. Nice charm coming out. Ooh, does go into the tower. Kane is here. Just gonna go ahead and flash away. So almost ended up being really good. Sejuani does blow her flash. Ari is 6 now, so does have that mobility under that belt. But Malzahar is one good R is all he needs. Fun fact, just in case you didn't know, when Malzahar ulties, it technically doesn't do any damage. The damage comes from that thing on the ground after he ults, like the little portal. So you can still be like CC'd. As long as you're not in that portal, you won't take damage though. So coincidentally, if he ults Ari, has she like R's and she's not in that portal, she's basically just getting CC'd for free. But no damage. Ooh, Ezreal taking a nice Q. Loses a bit of health.
This should be a kill.
Yeah, but Kane is here. Is going to go ahead and pick up one. Shouldn't be able to get another one. Malzahar should be fine. They do trade 1-for-1. Almost really good for the side of Insomnia. But Malzahar, Kane just ended up being where he needed to be. Malzahar actually up in CS, not doing too bad. Okay, so Malzahar is up a little bit. They do ping out the Sedge blue buff, so maybe they have... I don't know if there's a ward there or not. No, there isn't, but I'm guessing they're assuming Sedge might be around that area. Yeah, Ari is going to go ahead and drop a ward, but not going to be really able to get that information on Sedge. Sion making his way down. They do have nice pink wards on the map, just in case Sedge does try anything funny. So they have like... Actually, like if you look at this, No Mercy's warding is impeccable right now. 4 pink wards in the map, and they're covering the entire river. So they have so much information just from that. They know where Sedge could and could not be. So unless she's ganking from lane, like they more than likely will have that information. Malzahar getting caught out here a little bit. A lot of damage coming out. He's gonna go flash over the wall, but King does the follow up, and Sedge tries the ulti, trying to stop him, but he should be able to just walk away from this one for free.
Also, I want to say that this man
God, Robo.
has a tear and a cold right now, so...
Oh, yeah, so he's playing for the late game, then he's not going to be bodying Sion too much if he's doing that build. So, I don't know. Like I said, I feel like they drafted a team count where they definitely want to win a lot earlier. Tier definitely, in my opinion, isn't the way to go about that in a call. Because that means you want to stall the game out. But as long as... If they have good macro... Ooh, Ray taking that L. Ooh, look at that. That might be a dead Ezreal. Yeah, and there it is.
That's why Morgana Caitlyn is oppressive.
And that CS lead is actually getting out of hand. Bot lane is almost 30 CS down.
They're probably going to get the first tower goal too down there, so Caitlyn's going to be huge.
Malzahar does need to be careful. Ari has an ulti. Yep, there it is. 1, 2, buckle my shoe, and I don't know why he stayed there. You know, he didn't have his shield, so one E.
No reason to say that.
Yeah,
not the way for
like without that shield, you're instantly dead. Especially at that health, she has to ulti and just get close. Okay, they're really going for the Scion tanking. It's gonna go ahead and flash, and J-Web, you can't forget that man does play a good bit of Kane. It's really hard to ban him out. He plays a lot of champions at the end of the day. You just gotta decide which ones you don't want to see during any particular week. Doing pretty well, RE3L. Ooh, and a nice pickup from the Sejuani. Picking up the shutdown on Kane. Very much need to go. Sejuani, you know, isn't as much of a...
This man.
Ooh.
Top lane.
They're not gonna find them.
Oh, that's rough.
Would have been a nice pickup, but unfortunately not gonna be able to find them. Malzahar does need to be careful here. The Charm is gonna go ahead and miss. Ooh, and those Qs are like just chunking right now, and that's scary. And he's actually going for a bit of AP. So something needs to be done for this bot lane. Maybe start thinking about trying to form in, or whatever the case may be, making some plays to help them out a little bit. You definitely don't want to let Caitlyn continue to pressure like that. She's almost up 50 CS. You don't want to see it in games like this. The Sejuani is here. She doesn't have ulti though, so this is just for not just, you know, applying some pressure, freeing up some space for this bot lane. They are going ahead and pin the dragon. They do play that blue buff too. They're gonna go ahead and start this actually. This is pretty ballsy. Phantom GG, they did lose that bot lane tower, so not gonna be able to go ahead and contest this, or maybe don't want to. They do go ahead and pick it up. First dragon coming through. Looks like they are rotating mid. Maybe try and force this down. Bot lane is still bot. Need to be thinking about maybe some type of rotation, unless they can get that tower fast enough. Kane does need to be careful. This might just go ahead and get Malzahar ulti, but I don't know if they're going to be able to kill him fast enough. They do get the CC down, but everybody is here. J-Web is going to go ahead and go down. They do manage to pick up one. They have the spell shield on top of the Ahri. I don't know why she threw it. Maybe she just didn't see it. Ooh, it was a good try by Sage. They do pick up one. It's not a bad team fight. They do trade all in all 2 for 1. So Insomnia Gaming coming out on top. Looking very well, played that as best they could. See, and it's just, and that's just my issue right there. Like, Jace definitely, you know, I feel like he has the upper hand in that lane. He has the range, he has the poke. But with a tank like Scion, you know, Ahri is not going to help. You want that, like one of those precision masteries. You want to be able to do either true damage or have I can't remember that 3-thing attack was, and you like
press the attack. Yeah,
you want to have like press the attack or the true damage one against Scion, especially if you want to like snowball in lane and continue to win. It's really hard to like take a tank mastery against a champion like Scion.
Also, I want to know why like Scion didn't just get ninja tabbies, because then it would have been like correct for him.
Yeah, if he got the early ninja tabbies, honestly, like Jace wouldn't have been able to do much because he has the tier and the call, so he would have just been he could tank for days. But I guess opting, maybe he thinks he doesn't need them because he's like reading how Jace is playing or whatever the case may be. But the early ninja tabbies definitely would have like been a big detriment. Like I said, I'm gonna go send Ezreal and Jenna top and send Jace bot lane. The Rift Herald is up, but Dragon isn't up, so I'm liking his play here. I'm looking at they're thinking about how they want to do things. They're thinking like constantly, how can we get back into this game? And I like that. But I don't think there's like they can do much against. Ooh, he just missed the caddy. They're not gonna be able to do much against Sion. If anything, Sion look like holy shit. We're getting a little bit too aggressive there. Kane going to be able to stop the Jace, and they are going to go ahead and take this tower in the top lane. Ooh, Jace does need to be careful here. I don't think he has the damage to keep up. Kane does have his transformation too. A lot of damage going on. He's going to go down here. Yep, just going to go down.
I don't know if they're going to be able to get to their spike if they're going to continue at this rate. The double tier was just risky as hell.
Yep, and that is going to be a dead Malzahar. What? Okay, you know, the flash worked out.
Gonna flash the tower though.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I think it would have been better to flash the tower, but I guess he like said was like there, so he flashed that way, or whatever the case may be. You didn't get the kill, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, but they're not gonna deal any damage to Sion.
Ooh, that might be a dead energy.
He's gonna be over here healing it.
That shit, honestly, barely keeping him alive. But for the most part, No Mercy does have control over this game. It's not even like a high kill game either. It's just right now I feel like they're just getting outmapped a little bit.
I mean, if you wanted to Sejuani, you needed Sejuani to like go to a lane where she probably was like guaranteed to kill. Like with Jace, if you didn't go tier, that was probably guaranteed to kill. Yeah,
instead of going tier, just like as long like with Jace, he does use up a lot of mana, but as long as you know how to balance it out, you should be fine. Especially with their team comp, I feel like tier was a bit of a bad idea because you have to scale tier, and like that takes like a good 15, 20 minutes depending on how well you know it works. So he was just like missing a lot of damage he could have had, and put on that pressure into killing Sion Sedge and making plays from there.
Let's see, bro. Let's see if they pop off once they get their mana mute, or whatever it's called.
Like this game is far from over. Like they don't have any towers. The general objectives are down in gold, but all in all is like really not that bad as long as they can continue to stall. Like No Mercy is always going to be able to take objectives, but it's all about how long they can keep them from taking those objectives until they get what they need.
I mean, Caitlyn is 3-0, and they don't really have like anything to like in the front line other than Sejuani, and Morgana could just shield them for basically everything on the team that makes her like touchable.
Yeah, like if you look at that right there, Jay should be doing a lot more damage, or he has the potential to do a lot more damage to Sion. That should be a dead Caitlyn, 100%.
That's 700 gold for Jace right there, so maybe.
Yeah, 100%. They need that too. They can continue to keep pressure in this. Well, they don't have Ezreal, but they need to make a play here.
All you need to do right now is you need to put Sion in the solo lane because he's unkillable one-on-one right now. So.
Ooh, and that's gonna be a dead Jace.
He's very dead.
Man, I don't know. I feel like they should have definitely applied more pressure. They still had the Sejuani ulti. They still have the I think Janna still had her ulti. Like you have all the ult you need to fight. Definitely apply a little bit more pressure. Caitlyn was dead. She was like Ahri strong, but she's definitely not like Caitlyn strong. And they bought some time for Ezreal, but he's not gonna get like a lot of damage off from that tower, so it really didn't work out in their favor. Ezreal still doesn't have an item done. He's basically like done his Triforce. Once you get those 3 items, Triforce is like no more than 300 gold at that point, or some shit like that. So he should be able to pick it up on his next back after that wave. They do drop the Rift Herald on top. They're gonna go ahead and get that tower for free. Jason's bot with Caitlyn.
They're probably gonna get an inhibitor tower here.
Ooh, they could, and not if they're gonna fight, they need to force that fight right now. Ooh, good shit by the Jace. They do apply that pressure in top lane tower. Ari's just pushing mid for free. Like this right here, they needed to figure out a way to fight that before Ari got the mid tower. Like Jace did what he's supposed to do. He won his 1v1, stopped Caitlyn. This situation was a 4v3. I felt like, you know, you have the Sejuani, you have the Malzahar, force your way in there, fight the 4v3, pick off somebody as fast as possible, and then, you know, continue to pressure, because now you get into this situation where you lost your tower, top tower damage, got hit a little bit, and then, you know, Ari's pushing mid for free. Right here, I don't feel like they win this at all.
Yikes.
So, like, yeah, I feel like they 100% had to take that 4v3. Ari picking up a double kill. That should be another kill. And it's not an ace. Jace is still alive, but they do kill 4 members. They do need to be careful. Ari might have to flash over that wall. Yep, she is going to, but it was a bit of a bait. And they do take out the Jace. Jace does finally get to his mana immune, but it's not fully stacked right now. Actually, how much stacks do he have? He's only see, look, and right here is the issue with this. You go tier, which is, there's nothing wrong if you go tier if you're not a stack it, but you're only at 380 stacks out of 750. That is a waste to me. That's going to take way too long to stack. At this rate, it's not going to be stacked for 30 minutes, and they need, like, more damage now. They do have nice wards set up. Good defensive wards.
Tier is being stacked poorly by both of them, because I think Ezreal should have it by now.
Yeah,
I'm not sure though.
His is at 536, but it should be finished, or it should definitely be close to being finished. We got a 10k gold league going on. Haven't been able to find room to pick up any towers yet.
They're probably pulling No Mercy special. They're just gonna camp in one bush, and then yeah, watch.
They are paying that they're missing them from Baron. They don't have a lot of wards, so they do have to be careful here.
They're probably going this Baron fight, honestly.
Just take that. Still, it's not exactly a 50-50. Kane has a level up, so yeah, it doesn't even like.
This probably be the best fight since they got the armor reduction from the Baron stuff.
Yeah, No Mercy isn't gonna take it though. They don't want to like take the chance of a potential 50-50 Baron smite. They won't do it unless they know for sure they'll get that Baron. But they are gonna go ahead and take that dragon as a fire dragon. It's fine because they can't fight this. They are calling for the Baron, but it should have been an instant reaction. I feel like they did it too late. Actually, they might get it for free, but they are pushing bot lane for this, so if they're gonna go, they have to do this. Like, you have to commit at this point.
You gotta make up your mind. They just walked back and forth right now.
Nope, and then you trying to get a pick when you don't need to.
I mean, I don't know why you try to do that with Morgana. Right. I mean, they could just go run up middle right now. I don't know what they're doing there.
I guess they just buying Scion time, and then like just letting the minions push to make sure they can't back. Ooh.
Probably came anyway.
Yeah, it's gonna be GG. They definitely had to, like, they were going bot lane. They had to commit at that point. They didn't commit. They wanted to pick on a Morgana who we know has a black shield, which was a little iffy in my opinion, but they went for it. They tried it. I respect it because they at least tried something, but they had to like commit to that Baron call. You can't hesitate in games like this. But that is the GG towards No Mercy. GG, well played.
I don't know if like they didn't get to the tier. That was like their I guess their strategy to get to the tier and win, but they didn't reach in time. So
They drafted a comp for early game. Ezreal, like, more than likely, like 90% of the time, you're going to build Terra on Ezreal. I feel like it definitely shouldn't have been built on Jace. I feel like you want with Jace, you want to be able to pressure. You want that earlier damage, and going Terra was definitely not the route because he wasn't even like at 500 stacks, you know. So it was just a little bit of a waste. You're not getting value out of that item that early, especially with that comp.
and Azio didn't have it, which is like I don't know. That's weird. Azio should have it. Should have had it already, fully done.
Once it's only the first week. This is you come in, you see how like the league is, you get a feel for like how things work, and then like taking a couple L's is not the biggest thing. Like there's more games to be played. This is only the first week. There's a hella games to be played. Who knows what's going to happen next week? You come in, you look at what you can work on, how you get better, and then you continue to push forward. That's all. But I guess we can go ahead and get the captains here because we do have another game. I'm liking these games. These games are going by pretty fast. We got another game that ended really, really early. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and put on Insomnia's team captain, and then we going to go ahead and get who's the team captain of, what's the name again? Of
J-Web.
Joe Webb? Okay, bet. Hey, trying to pull people up from all
If you want the other group up.
Oh, sorry. Did you still want to talk to your team or?
Oh, Joe wanted to talk to you guys.
Alright. Well, let me get J Webb.
Hello?
What's J Webb's name?
I pulled him up here. Right?
Oh, okay. Alright, my bad.
Am I in here? Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. What's up, guys?
So let us know what happened. What were you guys thinking during the draft?
So I think our plan in draft was just essentially to pick a strong bot lane because on their team, I think their bot lane is both gold players, so that was something we knew we could take advantage of. We knew we had a strong bot lane. And then honestly, me and Bowkeeper just got one of our like better picks, so that always helps too. And Robo was just doing his thing on the tank up top. So overall, I don't know. I think we had a really good comp today too. We just got to pressure the map, and I don't know. Like even like you saw, I died twice from like overextending. It like didn't really make that big of a difference. So I don't know. We just played with a lot of priority, and I don't know. It worked out well.
Yo, what's up?
Alright, so Cholomus, tell us what happened during like the draft for you guys, basically.
So we drafted and we wanted to stall it out late game. And we kind of just gave everything, to be honest. And then we tried some desperate plays that didn't work out. But for next, we're going to be preparing because we don't have the most standard of bot lanes. We usually like running mage bot lanes. So, we're going to come back swing. Come back
I
swing.
would just say you shouldn't have got. I respect it, but I wouldn't have gave that info, on stream. But to each his own.
Hey man, you didn't say what mages. You never know.
This is true. This is true.
Advice.
But it could also be false information.
Ooh, that's a good point.
Logic.
Debate.
Yo, man.
But if that's all you have to say, then you can feel free to go.
Alright, GG man. That's fun.
GG's.
We'll go ahead and take a small break, play some music, and then we'll start getting ready for the next game.
Hey,
All right, state your name and power. I am the Waffler. With my griddle of justice, I bash the enemy in the head, or I